In this particular video I want to talk about love, and I'm aware this is quite a big topic and there's different facets to it, so I'm trying to tackle it once at a time, but there will be multiple videos about this topic coming into the future. And this morning I wasn't quite sure what to talk about, but after having a bit of a meditative session, there was a particular memory that came to my mind of a moment in my travels where this topic of love came up. And as I told you in earlier videos, as I travel I make a lot of friends on the go, and one particular moment was when I was on a really nice hill overviewing the city of Athens, and I used to go there every day because I just really felt the vibe, and there are always lots of people there who, you know, had the good atmosphere going on. And on this particular day I met this one girl together with her friend, and she had this amazing energy about her, and I swear to you, the most beautiful eyes I have ever seen. So I became friends with them, and after a while we talked about, you know, deeper things and our relationship partners, and there was no intention of anything more than friends. Now her friend left, and so it was just me and her, but as I really liked that hill, I decided that we should go back to the hill and enjoy the sunset, since it was such an amazing view from there. And we had this really deep connection going on, like we really understood each other, and that can be quite unique. And as the sunset was occurring, you know, it was a really romantic sort of atmosphere, and I noticed that she was getting uncomfortable, and it started to shift when from discomfort it started to be more of a, I don't know how I would call it, but I felt that something was not right. And when I talked to her and tried to, you know, ask her what was going on, she told me that she was feeling bad towards her boyfriend, because to her this moment she felt like she was in love with this moment, but also with me as a person. And I want to differentiate that love does not mean that she loves me to be her relationship partner, but it can mean that it simply resembles that feeling that she has for her boyfriend too, you know, the feeling of warmth, peace, happiness, excitement. And so she felt this guilt towards her boyfriend. And this is a really common misperception that people have, that love is something that's finite and that can only be shared to a certain person or group of people and not to others. So I really want to sort of challenge this notion. And there's a really beautiful Eritrean methodology, not really, saying that goes a bit like this, and I was told this by a friend of mine from Eritrea. Something of physical nature, or matter for this example, when you share it, you have to divide it. But when something is energy, the more you give, the more you share it, the more it grows. You don't have to divide it. And the same goes for love. The more you give love, the more it grows rather than divide it. And I want to really illustrate this to you. So if you can, close your eyes and do this with me, or else just really try to imagine this. If you are a parent, then it should be easy for you. And if you aren't, then just try to imagine. So you are single right now, and after a while you get married and you have your first child. And when you have this first child, you have this love. You feel this unconditional love in your heart for this child. And after a few years, you have your second child. Now, the second child, you also give your unconditional love. And I want you to feel for yourself whether the initial love you had for your first child, is that now in half? Or do you feel the equal amount of love for your first child and for your second child? You see, you don't have to divide the love that you feel, but rather it grows by how much you give of it. And that's the thing that I told her in that moment. And in regards to her guilt, it goes back to treating others as you wish to be treated and putting yourself in the shoe of others. So I told her to imagine that her boyfriend was in that situation that we were in, that he just met a girl and they got along really well and had this deep connection and they enjoyed this beautiful moment together and they really got along. And they didn't touch inappropriately at all, or, kiss or anything like that. Yet he felt this guilt towards her because he was enjoying himself and feeling this happiness. And I wondered whether she would have wanted him to stop the moment and leave because of her, or whether she would be willing to allow him to fully evolve and devour this moment and enjoy it. And of course she told me that yes, I would let him go for it because I want him to be happy. So long as he doesn't cheat on me, there is no problem for me with it. And then I told her that as long as you do something that you can truly stand behind, that in case you get caught, in case he finds out, or you want to tell him about it because he shouldn't have to hide it, that you can really stand behind it, stand behind your action. Because the worst thing is that you can't back yourself up. So do the things that you wished to have done to you, and if you do those things, then you have done the best that you can. So 2 things: treat others as you wish to be treated, and number 2, share as much love as you can, because love is not something that's finite or reserved. Love has different shapes and meanings. You can love the air that you breathe, the beautiful colors that you see, the pets that you have, the food that you eat, the person you are in a sexual relationship with, or the homeless man living on the streets. There is no one reserved version of love. Love is a state of being. Love is an emotion that should be shared, because the more you give, the more you will feel it. So I try to give you some love right now, and I hope that you can give some love to the world. I love you. Have a wonderful day.